All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we could take advantage of in this crazy Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. Do me a huge favor. Drop me a one in the chat. Let me know that my sound is good and everybody can hear me loud and clear. I appreciate it. I see the ones coming in. Good morning to everybody. Again, happy birthday, Donetta. I hope you enjoyed your day yesterday. And so let's make sure that we start out with, right, a very strong foundation each and every day. This is what keeps us centered and balanced no matter how crazy things are in the markets, right? We want to take massive action, making sure that we are accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing us for any outcome. We want to make sure that we set ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, assuring a balanced approach to trading. We always want to continue to trust in our education, strategy, and trading skills and intuition. We want to imagine our trade successfully materializing and that we are obeying our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear. And we want to make sure that we are never looking back or stopping once our trades have commenced, right? So, with the way the market has been, all the back and forth, right? This is why we go over our foundation of taking action every single day because it's what helps us to weather the storm, right? And enables us to remain patient at all times, right? So that's that. Hope everybody has had a wonderful week so far. Moving over to trading economics, right? Right on the front page, Tyrone also put some really good data um, into the community regarding, right? So if you go to the community, you can see that Tyrone put some notes, some bullet points, some key details, scope of the tariffs, right? Tariff scope, the tariffs targeting imported vehicles and automotive components. Implementation date, the tariffs are set to take effect April 2nd, 2025, right? Potential implications, automotive industry impact, automakers relying on global supply chains may face increased production costs, potentially leading to higher vehicle prices for consumers. International trade relations, the tariffs constrain relationships with key trading partners, including Canada, Mexico, and the European Union, possibly leading to retaliatory measures, right? Which they are already entertaining that. Trump was already posting in the wee hours of the morning on True Social. Market response following the announcement, shares of major automakers experienced declines, reflecting investor concerns about the tariffs' impact on the industry. The administration asserts that these tariffs are intended to reduce the trade deficit and encourage companies to increase manufacturing within the United States, right? So I have to do something. Well, I've been reading a lot on that. I have to put something together for the group with arguments, uh, for and to the contrary, right? And what's being said. So regarding our trade deficit and bringing manufacturing back to the United States. There's been a lot of research done on that, a lot of which doesn't support uh, that this is going to be the end result, right? A reduced trade deficit and an increase in manufacturing in the United States. So I'll definitely put together something on that. But yeah, definitely check that out because this is the news today, right? So you can see here, coming off of Tyrone's notes, that European stocks did indeed fall on the auto tariffs. Both stocks 50 and the stock at 600 lost around 1% after President Trump announced 25% tariff on auto imports starting next week. German automakers, which account for nearly three-fourths of the EU's car exports to the United States, are expected to bear the brunt of the impact, with Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, and Audi among those affected. And I've been bouncing in and out of uh, different different groups, looking at different videos, and I always like to go to the comments, right? And it's like some of the local news articles that have been written here, right? I'm in Michigan, right? You got the big three. you know, uh, a lot of auto workers unions, things like that. And just to see some of the comments, like, so what, buy American? It's like there's no such thing. Like you be missing parts to your car, right? If that like with like there's really no such thing, right? There's so many we're so global, and there's so many things that go into building a car. Um, it doesn't even make sense, but people are still, you know, under that notion like, oh, you could just buy American. Like anyway, there's so many parts coming from other countries. This is how this thing works, but I guess everybody doesn't know that, So what a mess. So Donet's birthday yesterday, right? Quick pivot. Um, but also Donette made it to 200K in her Darwin and saw a 20K day after being in a massive drawdown, patience and holding through the NAS and the S&P buy. Paid off with the drop yesterday. Gotta love trading. That is huge. Congratulations. Yeah. Sevens in the chat, right? That investor mindset holding on to the trade and the positions, right? Understanding the fundamentals around everything that eventually, right? Things will go your way. It's the way it's designed. So, Donette, do you want to say anything more about that? Talk to us. How do you feel?
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I feel really good. I mean, that was holding through 200 and something K was not easy, but
Yeah,
um grateful for, having the 1 million account for sure. And knowing that, you know, trusting anyways that there was a gap from when market opened on Sunday. So uh
yeah,
price pushed up and I just waited until they come back to fill the gap whenever that was. Hopefully, it happens sooner than later. So,
yeah. Great job. Great job. Congratulations to you. I know
but
you've been working
20K,
hard on that account.
yeah, 20K was one of my goals to do monthly. And
Okay.
so definitely hit it this month. So that's cool.
Yeah. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Great job. Great job. Super proud. Super proud of you and everybody in this group that's constantly putting in the work, in the accountability group and getting things done, getting things done. So super, super, super proud. Indeed. Indeed. Um, what else did you say here? Right. We are interdependent as a world. We are. So it's like, uh, you know, just loving history, isolationism has never proven to be successful. Uh, it's also it's honestly led to the demise of several nations throughout time. So, you know, we'll see where this is going. But it's rattling the market. The market's not moving and flowing, the way market participants would like to see it. See, because you're forced to sit back and be patient and be cautious. You're if you're investing in any type of bonds and things like that, and you're holding, what is it, like 4 point some percent or whatever, so a lot safer return. Not as an aggressive return, but a safe return that you can gain, right, in some of those defensive positions. So something to think about if you have long-term portfolios and things of that nature. But that's pretty much, I mean, jobless rates, Turkey, Eurozone growth, lending growth above expectations, right? So, but that's part of that, you know, uh, stimulus and things they're trying to do to boost the Eurozone economy. So that just lets us know, right, that's in play and that's working. Moving over to the DXY, just to take a look at that. Fell below 105, 104.5 on Thursday, barring gains from the previous session as investors weighed the impact of Trump's new auto tariffs. Right? What else is new? Late Wednesday, President Trump announced the 25%. We talked about that. Alongside reciprocal tariffs, U.S. goods, measures he pledged to maintain throughout his second term. The escalating trade war sparked fears of slower economic growth. It's a GDP killer, everybody. And renewed inflation pressures, unsettling financial markets. U.S. consumer confidence sank to its lowest level in over 4 years, adding to concerns. Meanwhile, data uh, on Wednesday showed that new orders for non-defense capital goods, excluding aircraft, a key gauge of business investment, unexpectedly declined. After 3 months of gains, investors now turn their focus to Friday's PCE index report, the Fed's preferred inflation measure. I don't even think that none of that is outweighing the tariff shenanigans, right? So typically that's what we be looking forward to. But even if that comes through as favorable, the Feds are holding rates, right? Even though Powell said, hey, he used the word transitory when it came to the tariffs. I don't know. I don't know how much movement we're gonna get out of the PCE data. Yeah, maybe it'll surprise me. Not sure, but tariffs, right? He said he loves that word, tariffs. So that's where we are. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good, man. It's Thursday, the day before Friday, so you know how I feel about my as we get towards the end of the week every week.
Yes, sir.
On into the weekend, man. Anything on your radar besides tariffs, man?
Man, no, sir. Uh, that's the thing. Tariff side of thing, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's weighing on everything. European stocks, Chinese stocks. I was looking at all that this morning.
yeah, yeah. Uh, mm, no, that's it, man. There are some random things popping up around regarding um Russia and Ukraine. Russia did a drone attack um, in some of the main cities before some Paris talks.
Yeah,
So that's happening, which impact on that ceasefire.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, that's it. That's it for right now.
yeah, yeah. Not too much going on. Everything's weird. I was listening to some things this morning. There's some top economists saying that China's plan to boost consumption. They've got doubts about their plan, but you know, what else is new? We'll see if I mean nothing's outweighing the tariffs right now, but we know coming into this year, they were definitely trying to do some, take some active measures to stimulate that economy. I was even looking at this MSCI, the China ETF, starting to look at research, you know, um, some different companies because I still think if we ever get through this tariff thing this year, I was actually looking, towards China because of some of the measures that they were taking to try to again boost consumption, boost that economy, get it going over there. Some of these Chinese companies, right?
Hmm.
Companies in China and everybody, right? We're in a world without borders. When it comes to business, you can see here where they have the same sector breakdown. So if you want to you start doing your research on these companies, right? The fact that we have technology, right at our fingertips, right? You put that in there and you can look it up and you can start looking and doing research on these companies, right? So, you know, we're global, right? Especially in this group. So anything, right, that any asset we can trade, right? We can apply, our framework too, and we could trade it, right? If it's available to trade, available to invest in, we could do it, right? So the fact that we have access to so much information, I think is just one of the amazing things about the world right now, right? Is that if you want the knowledge, there's 50 million places to get it. No excuses. No excuses, right? Especially when we got these powerful cell phones that are pretty much computers, right? So some of the things that I'm starting to do some research on. So I just decided to start with uh shares ETF, MSCI, to start breaking down and doing the research on these companies. Again, there's the sectors, right? The different weights and the market values of these companies, right? Do the same thing with European companies, things like that, companies out of Japan. So uh yeah. So that's just something that I'm really starting to put a lot of work into. Right. Not, have these discussions all the time, about hey, where else, what's when things are moving in the United States, well, what's moving? And right now, uh the tariff situation is frustrating because it's weighing on everything. So, but with that being said, here we are. Hold on one second. My bad. So here we are with the dollar index. All right, still holding around at 1045. Right, got back below it. We broke out of that range that we were tracking. Here we are on a 4 hour. Right, moving up towards that 236. But we got out of that range. So we'll see what continues to happen as the tariff situation continues to weigh heavily on the markets. Clicking over to I wanted to take a look at this Swissy yen, right? Just giving it time, right? Give it a time. This is one that been involved with forever, right? Watching this trade take place. But this is a classic 80-20, right? Moving towards that 382 zone. We got it to play out last time here. And now, hold on, I'm talking about a rust spot with my voice. I had a lot of meetings and a lot of talking yesterday. So give me one second, everybody. All right, hopefully I'm good. Okay, so here we are tracking towards that 382 on the 4. This was the larger move. We had the shorter term 80-20 back to the downside. And switch in. It's a big mover, right? Uh so right to that 382 was almost 200 pips. And now we're moving towards this 382 target on the 4 hour back to the upside, right? So we're up. Just like that, right? We didn't hit that stop. 330 pips. Okay. 330 pips off the 80-20 zone. So we'll continue to watch it, see if it pushes there, right? Any questions on that switch yet?
No, sir.
So, right, the zones are still playing out no matter what. That's what I love about it. Move over to let's take a look at commodities this morning. Um, and we got this oil play, right? We were watching on the 4 hour. Look at it climb, right? Anybody holding buy positions on oil? Joy, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes,
That's
sir.
good. Yep. Ryan still in it, right? So that's headed towards that target. I need to mark that. Right. Still heading up towards that target if you're actively trading that on the 4 hour. So that's another 80-20, right? We keep it pretty simple, right? Trade our zones in this group, right? Look at that. Swisher, oil, two different assets, same zone. It's amazing, right? Here we are with this man, right? That's rolling on that 30, right? Off that dip. It's rolling. All right. So let me that's gonna keep moving, right? 1.618, right? So if you're trading that on that 30 minute, right, that's your target. Continuing to move, push higher. Continue to push higher on gold, right? So that's where we left off with that. Let's see what happens, right? We take it up to the higher time frame, go back up to our daily. It's just rolling. It's just pushing, right? 236 balance, pushing past that 80-20 zone. A lot of uncertainty around these tariffs. Probably gonna continue to pick up steam. Right. So that's what we're looking like on the daily, uh on this gold play. Um let's back this up. It's that 30-minute target at 30.98. Run this off to 4. See what we're looking like. Mhm. And so, right, we came down out of that 80-20 zone, but we just bounced. We held up at that 28.34, and then we're just bumping. That's the 4 hour look on that. That 30.98 is right around at the extension. So we're gonna head there, right? 30.95 is the extension target on that. I don't see that coming back down. Tariffs looming, uncertainty, gold, right? Gold. You still have your September 12th order in? That's good, right? So our mindsets, I could tell, right, are evolving in this group, the patience and being able to hold positions, right? Donna said, hey, I was in a drawdown and now, came back and made 20K. That's what it's about. Having conviction in your decisions and hanging on, knowing that you've already managed your risk before you even took the trade. That's the key. I can't say that enough, right? It's having a clear understanding of that. So that gold is running. Here we are, 4 hour chart on silver. All right, it's just running, man. Terrace, we probably won't get that to walk back down. Maybe once we get up around that 80-20 zone, right? I was hoping for a deeper correction, right, based on my rules, but that's making a pretty good U-turn, right? So we've got the direction right. Didn't really hit my level, but it is respecting that daily support. But this is clean right here, right? Not my not my trade on this one, but that's past resistance becoming future support. That's gone, right? That pretty much double bottomed and everything. He tried to test it out and it kept running, right? Bears couldn't continue to make the push down. So that's running long, right? On silver. So the direction is still coming through good. Here's Nat Gas, right, Ryan? You've been talking about this making one more drive down, and we've come right back to that level. Wonder if it's going to hold up, make at least one more run, maybe not. But it's been a good several months on that gas. Yeah, on that
Yeah.
gas. So yeah. So what are your thoughts? You think we'll make a further correction, or do you think?
Yeah, I was actually analyzing the daily a little bit more.
Okay.
And could come down a little further, and this might end up turning into a might end up turning into a crown pattern as we go through the summer. But looking at this next level around, my thought was if it breaks this level and coming back to around 37,265.
Okay.
That's the next range that or area that I have my eyes on from a retracement perspective, and it's around between 37,205 to 35,437.
Okay. Okay. So we got
That's the
that 30,
next range that I got my
yeah,
eyes on.
3,600 there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
So
if it breaks the support level that it's sitting at right now,
yeah, I put those so it already pushed that level. It tried to at least moved a little bit lower.
yeah,
It's not showing us support, right? So we've got that zone here that you're talking about around that area coming back in. But we'll see, right? We know there's seasonality related to it, so we'll see what happens, right? That was a huge rejection up around that zone.
yeah, it
So
was.
we'll get,
When I was looking at that, I was actually watching the chart as it was happening. That's a major
yeah.
rejection. That retracement is coming.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
uh,
Yeah. So we'll continue to watch it.
and what's
See,
interesting
see,
is that stochastic is way oversold. So
it
see what
is.
that turnaround looks like.
Yeah. You said you need another cold snap. Yeah. I agree. I agree. We'll see it, as the spring approaches. We'll see what happens with natural gas. But like I said, it's been a nice run. Been a nice run. All right. So that's where we are. Let me clean this back up a little bit. And so we'll see what happens when it hits that level. Because the question is if we get a bounce at that level, does it turn over and move lower from there? You know,
Yeah,
or does it take off from there? So that's gonna be an interesting one to watch, through over the next couple months. So taking a look at copper, taking a look at copper, uh 20, right on the 4. Mhm. So we can see where it rejected, right? We can see where it rejected on this 4 hour. So do we Joyce said the report on that gas comes out today. Yes, it does. I forgot to go over that. As a matter of fact, I need to go back to that. Appreciate it, Joy. But here we are, right? But our stochastic is way oversold here, but I'm interested to see, do we continue to push lower on this correction, right? Some profit taking uh on copper, possibly, right? But we are in the 80-20 zone there. So definitely keep an eye out for this one because that's a nice rejection there. Right? And I think that's just mainly around some people taking profit, like I said. So that's copper. Moving on to these indices, right? Um, you can see where we started to reverse out, right, off the level, made some really good gains, and then you can see where we had the bearish candle come in here, right? Terror situation looming. So this could be, you can see right technically where uh, this is, right, showing that rejection. Oh, could go either way, right? Could go either way, depending on what he decides to send out through Truth Social next. Think about it, it's ridiculous. Right. So we rejected right off that 200. past support becoming future resistance. We got a bearish daily candle. We got a tear situation we're dealing with. Our stochastic is in the sell zone. But in this day and time, who knows, right? So just continue to be patient, right? Continue to be patient. If you're taking, like I took a smaller position once that new low was put in and got up pretty decent, right? But the reason for the smaller positions because I know there's a possibility, right, for this to move lower. Yeah, but I'm still within my AB boundary. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So that's where we are on the S&P. Okay. Here we are on the US 30. Okay. Not as drastic with that bearish candle, daily candle, but we're in a similar situation. Right? See where we are with the cloud and our 50 and 200. We're actually above the 200 here, right? At least that's projected to the upside, right? When you look at the angle of that, right? That slope is to the upside. But again, we're overbought. A lot of things going on fundamentally, right? So it's been a decent move off that low. What happens next, we'll see. But we've got that's a nice correction. That's right at the daily 61.8, right? Where the buyers came in, right? So we had the location spot on. Right now it's just a matter of which way the market wants to go. Right? Can we get above that 42,894 level on the US 30? Okay, so just taking a broad view of these, right? So not sure if we drop down to like the 1 hour and so we got a whole ton going on. Right, so you can see that reversal, beautiful V-type reversal there. Right, good price action. About one, trying to see if we came up to that 118 level, right? So right now this is structured, right, to potentially make another move to the downside on the 1 hour. But you can see where we get up around that 80-20 zone, right? Good rejection because we didn't get that 382 retracement at least. Right, so that may be finding its way back down. Let me go back to the S&P and come down a bit. See what we've got going on. Right. Similar price action, right? So almost the same thing, really. Right? Those two kind of mirror each other. Didn't quite push us high into the zone, but you can see where we're making this rejection down. So we'll see what happens. Again, it could go either way. Yeah. So on our Nasdaq 100, we had this 80-20 in play. We hit target, right? Getting into daily resistance, 20,324, and we rejected since then. But if we took that play, congrats. On that as we did climb to that level, right? So again, a again we different asset, right? Different asset. And we still, right? So you saw 80-20 on the Swiss yen. You saw 80-20 on oil. And now we're looking at an indice, the NASDAQ 100. And we've got an 80-20 that played out to the target at the 382. Joy, Evening Star on the 200 on a daily. Which is it, this pair or the pair I was going over before? I just saw that in the chat.
S&P.
S&P.
Mm-hmm.
And you said on the daily. You're talking about right here?
Yep, it's forming right on the 200 EMA.
Pull that out. Oh yeah. Right there. And We'll just put the 200 on. Yep. Yep. So definitely possible. There's a lot of things lining up there. Right? Not breaking the 200. Let me take this film. Right. Not breaking the 200. Past support becoming future resistance to casting oversold. Very well, right? But he could come out tomorrow. It's like, oh, you know, they decided to meet me halfway on some stuff. We're going to reduce the tariffs on somebody. So, you know, who knows? Who knows what happens there? So that's that. Taking a look at okay, here we are right here, the 225. And so we made a recovery, right? So you saw a lot of these markets get that bounce, but again, even here, a little bit of a different look. See, we've come right back into past support here at this level. So which way, right? So it's three different charts kind of looking similar in regards to that price action. Nice V-type recovery, and now, we're in a critical area. All right, so we come down to the 1 hour. That's where we are to the upside. If here, that's even larger play way back when. That larger 4-hour chart coming in on a 1, but I mean daily chart. But a lot of uncertainty, because of what's going on with the tariffs. So we'll see what happens. Eventually things are gonna shake out. Something I don't think we're on a sustainable track. Something to shake out. I don't know what that something's gonna be, but we'll know when it happens, I guess. But that's where we are. So lately, if you look at this from the daily, it's not giving us much, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now 9 days, right? We're kind of in that same range on that. So not a lot doing there. UK 100 on the daily, right? Higher level, but we got that same type of reversal, little market optimism, right? Because wasn't it just a couple days ago where you were reading some reports, right? Of some optimism because he may back off in some regard because of the tariffs, and then not so much, right? So 80-20 zone. So of course, right, from a daily perspective, based on where this is positioned now, we would want to see it break lower, right? We haven't gotten at least a 382 retracement. So if this 80-20 is something that you're playing, right, higher time frame daily chart, then this right now formed a lower high. Okay, so if we break below that 86.16 daily level, then we're definitely going to push lower. Okay, so that's where we are there. If we come down to the 1 hour chart, up here, right? Then you've got a down fib. We're ranging right now. Again, a break below that 86.16 will lead me to believe that we're going to push lower. I think the VIX was at like 18 or something. That just tells you, right? So, see, right? So we're below 20 on the VIX. It's the tariff situation. Like it's the tariff situation. Like still working on inflation. But coming out of last administration, inflation was improving. Now there's some concerns because of the tariffs, right? Can't say it enough. But you got a VIX that's 18.64 below 20. It's up a bit, right? It's up a bit today. And that's mainly stemming from the stuff that he's sending out, the administration is sending out. But we'd probably be making a nice run right now if it wasn't for all the mess. So it is what it is. Right? It is what it is. So that's where we are looking at the GR30. Right? Around that 118 zone, right? So of course we want to see, haven't gotten it yet, but of course we want to see the price action move down a bit. We're in an up retracement zone. So we want to see it, we want to see this move lower. Right. So, drawing up on the one. Short positions there. Right. If you're trading smaller time frames, higher time frame up retracement zone, you're looking to try to move lower. So this is what I would be following here. Right. So this is going to close in on a D extension soon at 22,462. So smaller plays are there, right? When they hit your zone still. Looking at the Russell. Right. So we broke the inner outer trend line. This is where we are now, right? Being held up, moving sideways. We'll see what happens when the market opens if it wants to make another push down because of everything. So we'll go to the daily on the Russell. That's the overall play, right? We come down into the buy zone. We're trying to rally. We're trying to. So I'm hoping that these issues get resolved a lot sooner than later, so we can get back to some clarity and start making some moves back to the upside. I'm not a when it comes to the indices and things like that. My longer term positions, I'm looking to get long. Uh, Are there short traders out there? Of course, right? That's why we see the market going in the direction that it has been going for the last several weeks. But I haven't been a bear. I know some of us in the group, smaller time frames, probably have, but I haven't. I haven't been, right. Kind of just been sitting back and waiting. Right? I haven't taken advantage of a lot of those short term moves to the downside on the lower time frame. All right, so. That's the Russell 2000. Any questions over, regarding the indices or anything like that?
I do have one, not the more indices, but far as where the I guess I'm just curious where the 20 and the 10 years at.
That's a good question. Let's see where we are. You said 10-year?
The 10-year move quicker, right? The 20 more long term.
Yeah. 4.38, right? So that's where that so when we talk about investment portfolios and things like that, right? A lot of listen, here's the thing. You got gold, right? You got gold, you got your metals, okay? Uh, and you've got like your 10-year is at 4.38%. You can lock that in, right? So you're not talking about explosive growth, but I remember when we came into the new administration, um, there were a couple, big time investors when you listen to Bloomberg and all of these channels that were getting defensive, that were saying, hey, this may be, a year where I'm only getting 10 to 12% out of the markets, for the year. And a lot of them were cool with that. Right? So here you got 4.38 percent on the 10, 20, 0.7, 4.76. So there are areas where you're still making gains. Are you making the type of returns that you would, being more risky and more aggressive in the stock market? No, but this is the game that we play, right? And when you're an investor, when you're a trader, if you're running a hedge fund and things like that, how can you still make money, and make your clients money during times like this, times of uncertainty? Well, where's cash flow during times of uncertainty, where people aren't, you know, uh, more willing to take aggressive risk due to the market uncertainty, due to the tariffs, right? So you still can make some gains in these places, right? Uh, especially on that goal, right? So that's where we are there. That's a great question. And so that's where it's at. You had it upwards of 20, upwards of 5%, you know.
Well, last night what I did was it was my chat GTA night, and I was looking for like specific, how to gauge the market with tariffs and overall what happened, what I found, because I was listening to Bloomberg, and a lot of the advisors, like you said, they can't advise because most of their prediction did not include tariffs. And my thing is, within like the last 2 months, it's like, okay, why didn't they do a reevaluation once it start becoming fruition? So that's the reason why I asked Chat GTA. And the one thing it did says, what you have instilled in me, until, April 2nd, we really don't know until everything comes to conclusion. But um I'm gonna share it in the chat. End up giving me like cheat sheets, like, so when the 10 year is up and inflation is down, where the market is going and such and such and such like that. And that's what made me go back to looking at the 10 year and the 20, because maybe that'll help us better gauge on market sentiment. I don't know. I was just
It does, right? We looked at that in the past,
yeah.
right? Into your 10-year, when you talk about the yield curves inverting and things like that, what could that mean, long term in regards to the market? How, when you look at those yield curves and the crossover, and has in the past been signs of a recession coming, in the not too distant future. So you're on the right track with Chat GPT. It's a great teacher, right? The key with that is, right, knowing what questions to ask. And you get better and better at asking questions as your knowledge base grows, right? As you learn the terminology. So watching things like Bloomberg and stuff like that, and because you start to immerse yourself and then you start talking that language. And so when you could take that language that you're learning from watching those shows and plug that into Chat GPT, it just explodes everything. It explodes everything. I mean, we always talk about in this group, like how to shorten your learning curve and compress time frames. Get your ChatGPT account, right? DeepSeek, whatever. But get you an account, because it is a great teacher. If you hear something on Bloomberg or one of these shows where you don't understand, put it in there. Put it in there. Let it break it down to you. There's times where I go into ChatGPT and I ask it to talk to me as if you were explaining this concept, this very complex concept, to a sixth grader. A lot of times that's where I start, right? I have no shame in saying that. And it will do it. And then I work my way up from there. So little nugget there. So those
Real
are
quick.
the indices. Yep, go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I'm dropping this prompt wizard into
Oh
the
yeah.
chat.
Yes, sir. Use that.
Use this prompt wizard when you're looking to start new conversations. right, around new ideas. It will take a simple prompt or a simple idea that you give it, and it'll create a detailed prompt that you can feed back into Chat GPT um, to start a conversation around whatever idea or whatever thing that you're working to develop. So if you want it to be an investment advisor with 50 years of market history, using the thoughts and methodologies of a mixture of Ray Dalio, Carl Icahn, and Paul Tudor Jones, it can create a prompt that will allow you to create that chat, that conversation. And you can put all your ideas into it and get that kind of thought process and methodology. So that's a prompt wizard that I created that you guys can use to help get you some detailed prompts when you might not necessarily have the words to give it. So I'll drop that in the community as well.
Hey, appreciate it. Each one teach one. Right? That's it, man. Like we had, I know Ryan and I, like, it's elevated our discussions, right? You know, being able to use a prompt like what Ryan just shared with the group. That's powerful. Don't take that for granted. Copy and paste that thing, right? For sure. For sure. Thanks, Ryan. Yep. So
No doubt.
here we are, taking a look at some of these stocks, right? And I was starting to get some hopes until this whole thing shook out today. But this is Tesla, right, off the reversal, and I'll zoom out to the daily. But here we are declining again. The question is, once we get this pullback, will it give us an opportunity to hold up and make another drive up, or is this just going to continue to make lower lows and lower highs, right? Coming out on a daily here, right? Zooming in, you can see, right? See the technical footprint here of Tesla losing half its worth, right? And now here's the reversal. Okay. Took a lot to get to this point. Look at the drop off today. And so we'll see if coming off this high, are we gonna push lower? That would be crazy. Right? And what was it, Ryan? Kathy Wood talking about of course she was trying to sell it because she's art. It's a ton of Tesla stock, but she was talking about the autonomous taxis or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was selling it, wasn't she?
She was, man.
He was selling it, calling it 2,600, which, there's a lot to Tesla besides just the car. So I understand her point. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. You know, hard to tell if this is a full-on reversal uh right now. But if you move down to your 1 hour, your 4 hour, this tends to hold, right? If this holds up, it's six. Here's a second candle, right? Closing today. So your four should look something like this, right? But if this holds up and we start to move higher after a good correction, I think take a shot at that, right? But I want to see it correct further. A further move down would be good, right? On this 4 hour chart. So we'll see. Maybe we come down and retest 238 again, 247 level. I'll draw my trend line. If my daily stochastic 4 hour lines up, maybe looking at to add positions there on Tesla. So we shall see. Apple. It's been a nice move. Been a nice move back to the upside. But you can see here on the spiders, right? We took a hit, tech negative 2.23%. That we came in at yesterday. So we'll see what happens. Right? Like I said, we're in no man's land with a lot. We broke back up past this low here. So do we hold? Right, so you can do the same thing. Drop down to your 4. Do we continue to climb? A deep correction. Right? On Apple. What does everybody think? We think we're gonna drive lower in stocks? Or do you think something's gonna shake out? This is a good reversal area where stocks to start making gains eventually.
I don't know, man. I would like the full on reversal right now, but I also love to see a world where we get some prices a little cheaper.
Yeah, for that, especially for that personal portfolio, man. Like,
Uh-huh.
just keep adding positions because the companies aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Like
just
I'd love to see a world where Tesla's at 150.
yeah,
Right?
yes, yes, yes.
I don't know that I get my wish, but um, we're at some beautiful levels right now
We
where we
are.
can definitely start seeing some gains if depending on how the world starts to respond to, or if they stop responding to Donald Trump and his antics and distraction.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, we will see. And keep in mind, right? Like Benit reminded us, here recently. Keep an eye, right? So there's a lot of moving parts, but keep an eye on that tax cut policy that's trying to move and make its way through Congress. Right? Don't forget about that. Right? Don't forget about that. If that passes, we can see the market rally big time. Right? And I think it's going to. I think it's just a matter of time. Even though trying to get Jazz and Crockett. We don't have the numbers to win that battle, right? On that side. Don't have the numbers, you know. So there's a lot of jawboning back and forth, but that bill's gonna pass. They're not gonna be able to peel off enough Republicans, right, for that bill not to pass. I don't even think they have enough in the pipeline to filibuster. So it's gonna move through. There's gonna be some back and forth with some things getting tied into that bill, and that thing's gonna move forward. You know, we only need one Republican in the House to grow a spot. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Like you look, you got look at what's going on in Wisconsin, right? What is that? Supreme Court seat or whatnot, whatever it is. What does he spend? What does he spend in Wisconsin? Elon Musk, millions of dollars to try to push that through. Now, they did in Pennsylvania, right? Uh, just lost uh, two seats, right? But you're talking about uh, regardless of saying, like, okay, hey, that's a bad sign for Republicans, right? In Pennsylvania. One of the seats, not so much, but the other one was definitely a shocker, right? I don't think it's a shocker considering the climate, how so many people are upset. But traditionally, that seat that was lost was in a in a dead red district, right? But here's the thing. Midterms aren't until 2026, man. That bill's gonna pass way before then. It's gonna pass way before then. So I'll go to the conclusion that I gotta follow the money on that one. So whenever it passes, I just want to make sure everybody in this group is in a good position, right? To be able to do what you have to do to take advantage of it. Okay. Yeah, everybody, we got that breakout and that retest on Exxon. We got it, right? So that's the play. We saw that 80-20 plan out on oil. We saw this start to break out. You remember that? Right? Where we saw that candlestick peek his head and break out. We got a retest. That's textbook, right? Take a screenshot of that. That's textbook. That's what you want to see with a classic breakout. And that's on the 4 hour. So that's moving. So that's gonna change that 123. Right? So for your portfolio, right? Just hit that extension. So we'll see if we get any type of a pullback on that. But you can see as we zoom in on the one, that was a clean break and a good retest. And that's moving. That's some good technicals there, right? Nice breakout on Exxon, Microsoft, right? All of these are looking kind of similar, right? Where we started to recover a bit, and now we got that move back to the downside. So we'll see what happens. If this is one. These are the type where I really do. Um, see where my fib is on the 4. When I come into these areas where technically it's like, it hit my zone. See how that range back and forth. So we're not going to get a good long-term fib on the 4. But this is one that I do start to watch, right? We'll go back up to the daily since that's where the fib is active. And you know what you could do when you're looking at this, like how this could go either way. Put that cloud on, right? Put that good old cloud on, right? And just sit and wait to see what happens, right? So that's where we are, right? And if you're waiting on the cloud break, that's not as higher time frame daily, but if you're waiting on the cloud break, we don't have it yet. So there's uncertainty and confusion. We just solved that, right? It's below the cloud. We're looking bearish. We're below the 50 to 200. We got a crossover. And hey, I'll wait. Simple as that. Right. Any questions on anything that we covered today? Nope. You're welcome. Brian, anything before we wrap things up, sir?
I'm going to give one more nugget on AI and prompt generation.
Yes.
When you're generating prompts, well, when I generate prompts, my goal is to think about the highest level of whatever the idea is or whatever the role of the person that would be doing said thing. And I put in that prompt generator to create a prompt of a person that operates at that level. So in the financial space, 50 years of market history, and managing assets of $500 billion over the past 30 years, right? Studied under whoever. So you're able to pull from the different thought processes that fall underneath said umbrella. And if you create it with that idea in mind, you can still, in your conversation, scale it down to start the conversation from an elementary level and be able to build it to the elevated level. So create the conversation from the highest level and then start your conversation after that prompt is created at the beginning.
Love it. Appreciate it, sir.
No doubt.
All right. Hey, so we got some things to do, right? Explore ChatGPT, explore AI, right? Something that we are definitely not scared of. It has only helped us, right? Especially in this group. So with that being said, everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure, right, that if you find any news or data, let's make sure that we are putting it in the community. Shout out to Tyrone for dropping the latest nuggets on the terror situation. We really appreciate it. And Joy, you said we got the natural gas data coming out today, right? If I'm not mistaken. Go back on that.
10:30.
10:30. 10:30. All right. Well, hey, that is it. We'll wrap things up. See everybody tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.